heavily sedated while I'm meditating. And all these numbers on this clock keep me calculating. My DNA done been activated. I know it's quite different from what you anticipated, but boy, I've been levitating.
Children of the sun, children of the sun, children of the sun, children of the sun. We are the
Yo, peace and blessings, blessings and peace. It's the boy Jarmel, Reece, in real life, not in fake life, because they just faking about their life. You know what I'm talking about? Like we do always, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, subscribe, share, put them to every type of platform that you may have. You know what I'm saying? We giving out the knowledge, we dropping knowledge, people. You know what I'm saying? Today I want to talk to you guys about signs that you are going through a Kundalini awakening. It's the awakening that happens when you start no longer looking at this world the way that that you used to. You know what I'm saying? You start looking at this world for what it is, and you start being more accepting, and you're not living in this state of just going through. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by just going through is that you got people that are just, you know, they live their everyday lives according to how they've been living for the last 20 to 15 years or 50 years, and they're just cruising. You know what I'm saying? They're just living life. When you start having that Kundalini awakening or a Kundalini experience, what's happening is that you're changing, and it's that change that's happening within inside of you. You know what I'm saying? You start looking at this world totally different from what it is. You know what I'm saying? You stop looking at it for what you thought it was and start looking at it for what it is. You start thinking like it has to be more to my life than me just waking up every day and doing the same things over and over again. You start trying to learn things that you never tried to learn before. For instance, you know what I'm saying? You start being attracted to more videos such as these type of videos. You know what I'm saying? You start looking for more knowledge that are telling you within things that you've been feeling for so long. You stop trying to cut that voice off in your head, and you start listening more to that voice in your head, and stop listening to more of the outside things that have been giving you directions for so long to tell you how to live a comfortable life, how to live a stress-free life. You start knowing that how to live a stress-free life is to start listening to yourself. That's when you start having that Kundalini awakening. You know what I'm saying? That's the overall waking up. You start trying to find the true self, the true knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Another sign of you being able to have the Kundalini awakening, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you end up depressed. And you know what I'm saying? Depression is actually different forms of depression. And I'm not talking about you want to go and kill yourself and do all these different type of things. You're just depressed because now you're starting to look at life for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes depressing because you feel like you're alone. You always feel like you're alone. You can have a bunch of people around you, but you never feel like people understand you, because you're always looking for something else. You don't even understand yourself, because growth is transpiring. It's transpiring, you know what I'm saying? And it's not a bad thing to be depressed, because we have to shed all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like every day is a day of dying. You know what I'm saying? We're always releasing and trying to be able to die every day so we can become a new us, and we can grow every day. That's the key. That's the knowledge. That's the things that we are always looking for within our growth and within our change. So don't think that because you're depressed that it's actually a bad thing. What it is that depression is actually something that was meant for you to be able to grow, because you're reflecting on all the things that happen to you. When you get stuck in depression, that's when it becomes a problem, because you're not accepting or acknowledging the fact that you're growing at that time, and that you having things coming to you. Another sign is that material things in this world seem not to they don't thrive you anymore. They don't push you anymore to be anything. Sure, we all want to be able to live comfortably and have nice things, but the things that you would consider nice in what a person that's going through the Kundalini energy, it's totally different. You know, you could be living in this big mansion and it's not fulfilling your inside. You know what I'm saying? I know for me what happened is that I started being more attracted to nature. You know what I'm saying? I started being so attracted to nature and all these different type of things that it was just, I wanted to go out on retreats and go and do safaris, and you know what I'm saying, and just go out into camping and all these different type of things. I just wanted to be able to know more about self and more about nature and less about material things that I've been told that I need to make me a full human being. I was just always looking for more, you know what I'm saying? And that's another sign that you having a Kundalini awakening. Also, back pain, or we call them surges of energy. You know what I'm saying? So the Kundalini, if I haven't even broken down to you, the Kundalini is like this snake. You know what I'm saying? They even in the Egyptian times, what they did was they compared it to this snake. And nowadays they take it and they put it on ambulance trucks. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to see some of the pictures. I'll put up some pictures and stuff like that. They use it and put it in medical forms or whatever, and have those two snakes wrapped around. But what that energy is, it represents the energy that goes up and down your back, which is the energy surges. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, especially like when the sun is coming out or any of those type of things, what's going to happen is that you're going to start having a lot of back pains, a lot of pains. You know what I'm saying? And even in these energy surges, you're going to also have blockages. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the blockages are like your crown chakra, your chakras. You know what I'm saying? So if you're having a lot of headaches, you know what I'm saying, that's your crown chakra, you know what I'm saying? And that means you probably need to work on it. You're having a lot of chest pains. I know a lot of the times I have a lot of chest pains, you know what I'm saying? That's me. I need to unblock something that's going on in my heart, which is my heart chakra. You know what I'm saying? Legs and all these different type of things, and all those things, those are the root chakras and all these different things. So those are blockage of the Kundalini energy just trying to force inside of you. I know my girl was having, when she was telling me about her Kundalini experience and stuff like that, and I'll elaborate on mine as well. For her, she was having things, she had a real bad back problem. You know what I'm saying? And she was just going back and forth to the doctor. And I'll bring her on and I'll let her tell you a little bit about it. But the long story short, she was going back and forth to the doctor, and the doctors didn't know what was wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what was wrong. They kept on just sending her back. She was having this bad back issue and all this different type of stuff. She couldn't even walk, and they were trying to give her all this medicine. And absolutely don't take the medicine, because what that does is that blocks your awakening from happening. You know what I'm saying? I know that it's going to be painful. The first thing when we have pain, we automatically turn to medicine. Don't turn to medicine. Let the energy happen. The surge is going to happen. It's going to continue to happen as long as you keep on growing and unlocking that DNA, and that energy just continues to grow. I still have back problems. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I bend down and get stuck and all these different type of things, but I know what it is. It's just that energy that's coming up inside of me, and every time my DNA wakens up, I'm in top physical shape. I run, I jog, I eat good. But as long as you're having these growths and you're having these changes inside of you, the Kundalini is going to always want to be able to change. I know for me, anxiety, you know what I'm saying? Anxiety is one of the signs that you're having an awakening as well. You know what I'm saying? You're having hard time sleeping. You're overwhelmed by a bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? For me, I know when I was having my awakening, I was scared to go to sleep. I couldn't sleep, and I was taking muscle relaxers. I was taking muscle relaxers so many times that was the only way that I was going to sleep. My back was hurting. I was just so I was overwhelmed with everything. I didn't know what was going on with me. I thought I was going to die. I didn't know what it was. I was having these vivid dreams. Like I was having these dreams that I was woke, but I was asleep. They call it sleep paralysis. You know what I'm saying? I was having these dreams where I was seeing myself, you know, and also I was seeing myself living different lives. You know what I mean? Like I knew it was me, but it wasn't this life. It was me in a whole nother body doing other things in different states, and you know, it was real crazy, and I was scared. I was having dreams of the earth destroying, and I was trying to save my family at the time. I was trying to save my family, but I couldn't save them, and I was stuck in this bubble, and it's called a Merkaba. That's what I found out later. It was called a Merkaba, and I couldn't touch him. I couldn't save him. And I just kept floating up, and the earth was just destroying and destroying and destroying, and I couldn't do anything about it. And it was hard for me at the time because I didn't know what I was going through. I felt like I was getting ready to die. And I didn't have anybody to talk to. I was scared. I was alone. I was just, and when I was trying to explain it to my wife at the time, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to explain it to her. She didn't understand what it was I was going through, and I became more and more weird to her and more weird to the people that were around us and her family and all these different type of things. And I felt myself trying to fit in more than trying to be myself, you know, because I started detaching. I started changing the way that I dress, and I started changing the way that I talk, and I started changing the way that I was eating. My diet changed. I all of a sudden just became vegan, and I didn't want to eat meat anymore, and I didn't care about what society had to offer to me, and I just changed, and ultimately in that change, you start becoming distant from people. And so when I became distant from people at that time, what happened was I became distant with my wife because I was going through this change and that she didn't understand. And I just started looking into videos and what's wrong with me, what's going on, and I started seeing what was going on with me, and people were telling me, man, you're going through a spiritual awakening, it's happening to you, you've woken your third eye up, it's nothing you could be able to do about it but embrace it, because what's going to happen now if you don't embrace it, you're going to go back into that world of thinking that all that stuff is right when you know it's wrong, and you're just going to be trying to coast along. And it's going to be a depressing life. You cannot run away from this energy that's happening to you. The Kundalini energy is happening. You can't run away from it. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're about to die. But the only reason that you feel like you're about to die is because you are dying. You are dying. You're growing. You're shedding. You're becoming new light. You are becoming the ultimate force. You are becoming the true you. You are getting rid of all these things that society have told you that you need to be, and starting to become the things that you were meant to be in this lifetime. Like I said, you have dreams. My dreams were so vivid about other lives and other past lives, and you know, just who I was, what I was, and what I wanted to become. And it was a very difficult time, and I hope that some of you guys I hope that you are going through it, but I hope you know that you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? You're not the only one in the universe that's going through it. Just know that you got to keep fighting through it. And the only true change happens when you're truly willing to be able to change yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you have to embrace this lifestyle. You become more infatuated with rocks and stones and, you know, grass, and you're more aware of that the earth is alive and that you're alive with it, and you just want to be one with it. You don't want to be apart from it. You want to be able to listen. You want to be able to listen to your true self. You want to be able to make your own decisions based off of what you think, and not what off of society has thought or think that you should be. You know what I'm saying? You'll become an infinite being within inside of this universe. You know what I'm saying? Some of the other things, like I said, I got back on disconnection. You know, the hardest part about this thing for me is that disconnection, and that comes within anything. I went through a divorce through this situation, because I had to learn that everything was a lesson, and it's a lesson, and it's not an attachment. You can love, but you don't supposed to be attached. And also that you can't make people have your same spiritual journey with you. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not willing to be able to, or if they're not having that awakening or having that thing happen to them, it's not up for you to make them understand it. And it's not up for you to make yourself miserable or make them miserable being with you. You know what I'm saying? It has to be some form of a compromise. You know, if you have somebody that's willing to be able to get out there and do some of the work and try to be able to receive the knowledge with you, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you could work towards. But if you got somebody that you know, they're just not ready at that time, it's not about them being a bad or a good person, because my situation wasn't about being bad or me being this way. It was just simply because we just grew apart spiritually in two different ways. You know what I'm saying? And it was good for my process, and also, you know what I'm saying, it was good for her evolution, because the thing of it is that we're all here to learn lessons. And sometimes we get too comfortable being in these different environments so long that we often forget that separation must happen, no matter if it's through death or through physically leaving. You know what I'm saying? Separation has to happen. You know what I'm saying? You're going to lose people regardless of whatever it is that you want to. It's just all about how you want to be able to do it. And we learn that attachment in this world is something that we have to be able to draw ourselves away from, because you have to, if every day that I'm willing to learn how to be able to die, or I'm learning how to be able to have these deaths to be able to grow, I have to be able to learn how to be unattached to this body. So if the hardest thing for me is to be able to be unattached from this body, I can't be attached to anybody else's body. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn how to be able to love without attachments. And I'll do a video on top of that too, you know what I'm saying? Love without attachments, you know what I'm saying? But those are the signs that you are having Kundalini experiences, a Kundalini awakening. You are you're sick and you're in the hospital, but instead of you changing your diet or doing all these different type of things, you continue to take the medicine. If you continue to take the medicine, you will continue to be blocking the awakening from being able to happen to you. That's what's happening. You're wondering why you're sick all the time, and you're wondering why the doctors can't cure you. You're in and out, and they don't know particularly what's wrong with you. I can tell you what's particularly wrong with you. You're having an awakening and you don't know it. You are being called at this time, but instead of answering the call, you are continuing to live this lifestyle that you know that is not good for you, or this lifestyle that you want to break away from, but you have no clue a way to be able to break away from it. Just know that you're having an awakening, and what's the only thing that you could be able to do is change the way that you're thinking, change the way that you're eating, and change your perception on what is it, home remedies. They call it home remedies, or earthly medicine. You know what I'm saying? Ways to be able to cure yourself through dandelions and just the earth, you know, herbs and all those different type of things. Be more open and being more mindful of that type of way, holistic. You know what I'm saying? Taking a more holistic approach to the way that you treat your body, instead of just giving yourself, man-made medicine and all this different type of stuff. So if it's any questions, any things or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you can leave me a comment. I'm always willing to be able to comment on stuff or whatever. And hopefully I can help you out with whatever it is that you're going through. I hope you guys have a great day. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you posting the videos and you're sharing them on your platforms and all that different type of stuff. Peace and blessings. Blessings and peace. It's the boy Jarmel, Reece, in real life, not in fake life, because they just faking about their life. Yo, make sure you get the music. Make sure you get go to jarmelreece.com as well. You know what I'm saying? And just keep looking out for new videos.
All this rope talk, beefing over knowledge, us against us, intellectual warfare, false prophets. And you know what's funny? With all this going on, I got one question. Who really living their knowledge? Who really ready to die for this now?